In the darkness beneath the waves, where sunlight fades into silence, there lives a mind unlike any other on Earth. It does not have a backbone. It does not live in societies. It does not pass knowledge down through generations. And yet, it solves puzzles. It escapes prisons. It dreams. This is the story of a creature that feels like it arrived from somewhere else. This is the story of the octopus. If you were asked to imagine intelligence on Earth, you might picture a human face, perhaps a dolphin, a chimpanzee, a creature with forward-facing eyes, social bonds, parental teaching. The octopus has none of these things. It is soft, boneless, vulnerable. Its body can slip through a hole the size of a coin. It has 3 hearts, blue blood, and a nervous system that challenges everything we thought we understood about thinking. Unlike humans, whose neurons are mostly centralized in one brain, the octopus distributes its intelligence. It has one central brain and 8 arms, each with its own cluster of neurons, capable of independent action. More than half of its neurons are not in its head. They are in its arms. Imagine if your hands could taste the world, if they could make decisions before your brain told them to move, if they could explore, analyze, and even problem solve on their own. That is the reality of an octopus. It does not simply control its arms, it collaborates with them.
Every sucker on an octopus arm is both a hand and a tongue. It can grip, it can taste, it can feel microscopic textures. When an octopus touches a shell, it is not merely holding it, it is reading it. Chemical signals pass through its nervous system instantly. Information flows not just upward to the brain, but across the arms themselves. In many ways, the octopus does not experience the world like we do. We see first, we think second, we act third. The octopus touches first, acts instantly, and thinks in motion. Its intelligence is embodied. It does not separate mind from body. The two are inseparable.
Unlike dolphins or primates, octopuses are solitary. They do not form lifelong social groups. They do not raise families together. They do not teach their young. In fact, most octopus mothers never even meet their offspring. After laying thousands of eggs, a mother will guard them for months without eating. She cleans them gently, protects them from predators, blows fresh water across them to give them oxygen, and when they finally hatch, she dies. There is no reunion, no nurturing period, no instruction manual for survival. Each baby octopus must figure out the world alone. And yet, they succeed. Without teachers, without culture, without society, their intelligence emerges not from shared knowledge, but from pure instinct in exploration. This makes their minds even more mysterious. In laboratories and aquariums around the world, octopuses have developed a reputation. They open jars from the inside. They unscrew lids. They solve mazes faster over time. They escape sealed tanks. Some have even been observed waiting until nightfall, climbing out of their enclosures, hunting fish in neighboring tanks, and returning before morning. Not once, but repeatedly. Caretakers have reported octopuses squirting water at lights to short-circuit them, memorizing feeding schedules, recognizing individual humans. They do not simply react, they plan.
The average lifespan of an octopus is heartbreakingly short. Most live only 1 to 2 years. A mind this advanced burns brightly and briefly. Within that short time, they display long-term memory. They remember solutions to problems. They remember negative experiences. They remember which containers hold food. But here is the question that unsettles scientists.
Why evolve such high intelligence for such a short life? Intelligence is expensive. It requires energy. It requires neural investment. Most animals that evolve large brains live longer lives. Octopuses break that pattern. It is as if evolution accelerated their cognitive abilities without granting them time to use them fully. The octopus does not merely hide, it transforms. Specialized skin cells called chromatophores allow it to change color instantly. But it goes beyond color. It can change texture, shape, even posture. It can mimic rocks, coral, seaweed. Some species, like the mimic octopus, imitate other animals entirely. Lionfish, sea snakes, flatfish. The control required for this is extraordinary. Thousands of pigment cells expanding and contracting in coordinated patterns. Scientists debate, is this purely reflex or does it involve conscious awareness? When an octopus camouflages itself, is it thinking strategically or reacting automatically? Experiments suggest flexibility. Octopuses adapt camouflage depending on their surroundings in ways that suggest perception, not just instinct. They see the world, they interpret it, and they respond creatively. Play is rare in the animal kingdom. It is usually associated with mammals and birds, creatures with complex social lives. And yet, octopuses play. In laboratory settings, octopuses have been observed repeatedly pushing objects, like floating bottles, into water currents, watching them drift back, then pushing them again. There is no reward, no food, no survival benefit, just repetition, exploration, engagement. Play implies curiosity. Curiosity implies awareness, and awareness suggests something deeper than reflex. Do octopuses feel? The answer is not simple. Their nervous system is radically different from ours. They do not have facial expressions we recognize. They do not cry. They do not vocalize in ways we understand, but they show behavioral changes. They exhibit stress. They avoid painful stimuli. They learn to fear certain environments. Recent research has demonstrated that octopuses can experience pain, not merely reflexively, but in a way that suggests negative internal states. They remember painful events. They avoid locations where those events occurred. That suggests more than instinct. It suggests experience, and experience is the foundation of feeling. There is something poetic about the octopus. A mind this complex inside a body with no bones, no armor, no permanent shape. It survives through flexibility, through adaptation, through intelligence. When threatened, it does not fight head-on. It disappears. It changes. It becomes something else. Perhaps that is its greatest lesson. Intelligence does not always look like dominance. Sometimes it looks like softness. We have barely scratched the surface of its mind. In the next part of this journey, we will dive deeper into dreams, into genetics, into what the octopus may teach us about consciousness itself. Because when we look into the eyes of an octopus, we are not just observing an animal. We are encountering another kind of mind.
When night falls beneath the ocean, the world does not become silent. It becomes slower, colder, darker. In a narrow crevice between rocks, an octopus curls into itself. Its arms fold gently. Its breathing slows. It appears still, but it is not. Subtle waves of color begin to ripple across its skin. Pale white fades into deep red. Red dissolves into mottled brown. Patterns bloom, then vanish. Its arms twitch softly, almost imperceptibly. Inside that soft, boneless body, something extraordinary may be happening.
The octopus is sleeping and possibly dreaming. For decades, scientists believed complex sleep cycles were reserved for mammals and birds, creatures with social bonds, creatures with layered emotional lives, creatures like us. But recent research has revealed something astonishing. Octopuses experience two distinct sleep states, one calm and pale, the other active, filled with rapid skin color changes, quick eye movements, and sudden arm contractions. It resembles REM sleep, the stage in humans where dreams unfold, where memory, emotion, and imagination intertwine. But what does an octopus dream about? Does it replay the hunt, the careful stalking of a crab, the sudden shadow of a predator overhead? Or does it experience something entirely foreign to us? A language of color and texture, a landscape of touch, a dream made not of images, but of movement. We cannot ask it, we can only observe and wonder. Sleep is not a trivial behavior. It is metabolically expensive. It leaves an animal vulnerable. Evolution does not preserve it without reason. If octopuses experience an active, dream-like state, it suggests something profound. Their brains are not merely reactive machines. They are processing, reorganizing, possibly imagining. This raises a deeper question. What is happening inside that distributed mind when the world outside grows dark? And then there is their DNA. When scientists sequenced the octopus's genome, they were stunned. It was larger and more complex than expected, containing hundreds of unique gene families not found in most other invertebrates, particularly genes related to neural development and synaptic organization. In simple terms, the genetic blueprint of an octopus invests heavily in building a brain, or rather, building many brains. Its neurons do not cluster solely in a central organ. They extend outward into each arm, creating a network that resembles not a hierarchy, but a collaboration. It is as if evolution ran a second experiment in intelligence, separate from mammals, separate from vertebrates, separate from us. Nearly 600 million years ago, our evolutionary paths diverged. One lineage built skeletons, spines, centralized control systems. The other remained soft, flexible, yet somehow equally brilliant. Two completely different biological architectures, both arriving at complex cognition. That convergence alone is extraordinary. It suggests that intelligence is not an accident. It may be a recurring solution to survival. But intelligence is not the same as consciousness, and consciousness is notoriously difficult to define. Is it self-awareness? Is it the ability to reflect? To remember oneself over time? To suffer? To anticipate? To imagine? We often define consciousness by how similar another creature is to us: forward-facing eyes, social behavior, facial expressions. But the octopus challenges that bias. It does not smile, it does not frown, it does not vocalize its emotions, yet it remembers, it plans, it avoids pain, it plays, it dreams, and it adapts with remarkable flexibility. Some scientists now argue that octopuses likely possess a form of primary consciousness, an internal experience, a perspective, not identical to ours, but real. In 2021, cephalopods were formally recognized in several countries as sentient beings requiring welfare considerations in research settings. This was not sentimentality, it was based on evidence of pain perception beyond reflex, evidence of learning and long-term memory, evidence of behavioral complexity that implies inner states. This recognition forces us to confront something uncomfortable. If consciousness evolved twice on this planet, once in vertebrates and once in cephalopods, then subjective experience may not be rare, it may not even be fragile, it may be a natural expression of complex life. When we look into the eye of an octopus, something unsettling happens. Its pupil is horizontal, its gaze steady. It does not look cute, it does not look familiar, and yet there is presence, a stillness, an awareness that feels unmistakable. You get the sense that it is not merely reacting to you, it is evaluating you, considering, deciding. There is no easy way to measure that sensation scientifically, but anyone who has spent time observing an octopus closely often describes the same feeling, being watched back. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the octopus is this: intelligence does not require bones. Consciousness does not require a spine. A mind does not need to look like ours to be real. In the deep sea, evolution constructed a radically different way of thinking, a distributed mind, a body that collaborates with itself, a creature that can vanish into its environment, yet stand out as one of the most cognitively complex animals alive. We are only beginning to understand it. We have mapped its genes, studied its neurons, recorded its sleep. But the deeper mystery remains. What is it like to be an octopus? To experience the world through skin that sees, through arms that decide, through a mind that is everywhere at once? That question does not have an answer, not yet. But in seeking it, we may learn something about ourselves, because the octopus is not just a curiosity of evolution, it's a mirror, a reminder that intelligence is not singular, that consciousness may take many forms, and that on this planet, we are not alone in having an inner world.